Lesson 1.3 Fundamental Rules of Romaji. Welcome to Lesson 1.3 of our Japanese Romaji course. In the previous lessons, we covered the pronunciation of all 117 modern Japanese characters. In this lesson, we will explore the basic rules of Romaji and Japanese pronunciation. Let's begin. Rule number 1. Double consonants. The small tsu, also known as sokwon in Japanese, is a special symbol that helps us pronounce words with repeated consonant sounds. It is a small version of the tsu character. When we see the double consonants or the small tsu, in a word it means we need to pause briefly and make the consonant sound a little bit stronger. For example, let's take a look at the word Nippon, which means Japan. We can see the small tsu between ni and po. When you write Romaji, the small tsu will change it to double consonants. Double consonants mean we pause for a tiny moment and make the consonant sound a little stronger. So we say Nippon with a small pause before the pon. However, in certain cases, the repeated N is not considered a double consonant, even though it appears twice in a row. We will cover this exception in more detail in a later lesson. Rule number 2. Long vowels. Sometimes in Japanese, we have vowels that are pronounced longer than usual. In Romaji, we indicate these long vowels by adding a macron, which is a straight horizontal line placed above the vowels. For example, let's look at the word good morning in Japanese.
Ohayo.
In Romaji, notice how the OU becomes O with a macron in Romaji. Rule number 3. Exceptions and special sounds. While most of the sounds in Japanese are represented accurately in Romaji, there are a few exceptions to keep in mind. F sound in English doesn't exactly match the pronunciation in Japanese. So, when you encounter words with fu in Romaji, remember to pronounce it as hu or hu. R represents a sound that is not present in the Japanese language. Instead, it is approximated by a combination of L and R sounds. So, when you come across words with R in Romaji, try to produce a sound that lies between L and R. Remember the lesson in earlier. V represents a sound that is not present in the Japanese language. Instead, it is pronounced as the B sound. N in Romaji is used to represent the nasal sound and in Japanese. It is unique because it can be pronounced without any accompanying vowel sounds. Some people may even close their lips slightly, making it sound similar to the English letter M. When you see N in Romaji, remember to pronounce it as a standalone nasal sound. Rule number 4. Intonation. In Japanese, words are pronounced with a more subtle and flat intonation compared to English. Unlike in English, where words often have prominent rises and falls in pitch, Japanese words generally maintain a more consistent and level intonation. For example, let's take the word
こんにちは.
When pronouncing this word in Japanese, you'll notice that the pitch remains relatively even throughout the word. There are no dramatic rises or falls in pitch. Also, remember the exception we learned in rule number 1 about the double N? In this word, N appears twice, but it's not pronounced as a double consonant. Each syllable is pronounced separately.
こんにちは. こんにちは.
So it's important to note that it doesn't sound like konnichiwa with an English accent. This is a common mistake when learning Japanese without a strong foundation in Romaji. Let's see another example. The word
ありがとう.
meaning thank you is pronounced with a smooth and level intonation. And don't forget about the long vowel at the end. So, it's important not to pronounce it as arigato. Additionally, remember to pronounce the Romaji R correctly.
ありがとう. ありがとう.
Great job! You have successfully covered the Romaji rules. By mastering the Romaji pronunciation and the rules we've covered, you have built a solid foundation in Japanese pronunciation. Now it's time to put that knowledge into practice with some Romaji exercises. Stay tuned for the next lesson. Thank you for watching Modern Japanese.